Well, we are wrapping up the Every Bit Counts challenge. It's been a very long month, but it's been a very productive one. It was really fun kind of sharing with you guys all of the things that we were able to accomplish, because I really enjoyed watching the videos that you all shared and just kind of getting some different ideas in terms of some of the food we have. I know the Every Bit Counts challenge kind of starts with only doing a little bit every day, but when there's so much to do and the food, especially because we do use mobile food pantry, the food is kind of on its last leg anyway, and it needs to be processed rapidly. It was kind of motivating to kind of bring back that community mindset of everybody kind of doing this together, and so filming it and then sharing it with you and then watching other people do their things. It was really motivating, especially when the nights got very late and things just kept going and going and going, and you're just tired. I was reminded of an article I read many years ago. I don't even remember how to find it or whatever, but it was about the loss that women have today. They kind of tested these women that used to go do their laundry, and when the washing and dryers came out, like, there was a depression that set over the women because they didn't have that community aspect of working together with hard projects. So something like this was really fun, and I appreciated it, and let's just keep encouraging and motivating one another. It's one of the beautiful things about social media today. There are ups and downs. This is a good one.
Okay, it is Tuesday and I've got a lot going today with the Every Bit Counts challenge. In my dehydrator, I've got some tomatoes going. I just cut up all these peppers. I don't want them to go to waste, so pulled out a few that we could eat up before they go bad. And then the rest here, I just kind of made these fajita mixes. I'll just pop those into the freezer. And then from the bottoms of all the bell peppers, of how I cut them where you kind of end up with a bottom and a top. I just chopped all those up and made these little bags of chopped bell peppers. So that's going to go into the freezer. Let's see what else. In here I have all the banana peppers that my neighbor gave me. I'm making just a batch of pickled banana peppers. There were so many. So there's that. And then the bottoms of the tomatoes and like some chunky parts that were just really hard to cut thin, I just popped them into the saucepan, and I've cooked them down to kind of a thicker texture, and I will either dump it into this crock pot of cooked down tomato sauce, or I will do something else. So that will all get cooked down. These are the tomatoes that still need ripening. And these are, I pulled out a grocery bag of jalapenos and had to toss about probably the other half of this batch just because it had molded. So I will do something with these jalapenos. And I have, I think, another bag in the back fridge. So that's kind of what I need to get done today. And then we'll see what else we get done. So here's kind of a fun project that I did tonight. So I had some vanilla beans, that's what this is, from some homemade vanilla that I had made, and pretty much I kept topping it off with vodka to keep topping it with vodka to keep it kind of going until pretty much the vanilla kind of lost its flavor. So I probably won't do that again. I heard you could do that, and I disagree. I think it takes away from the strength of the vanilla. But I had these vanilla beans left, and I really wanted to just get as much out of them as I could. So I dehydrated them, and then I put them into my coffee grinder, and I just ground up all this vanilla. Smells good. And I was thinking I could probably use this like if I was to make ice cream, or even smoothies. You know how you see vanilla specks in certain ice creams, but I could do it in smoothies. I just was like, you know what? This is a lot of good vanilla and it's very expensive. I'm going to get as much out of it as I can. So that's what I did tonight. I just dehydrated the vanilla beans, and I have this little jar that used to have honey in it, and so until I see my friend again, who actually makes the honey, I'm just going to keep this in there. And that's one more thing that I did tonight that just kind of not let anything go to waste, and something I can use later on. Very late Tuesday night, and I have 5 pints of just tomato sauce done. The dehydrator is still going with the other tomatoes. And tomorrow is food truck day, so I tend to go through my fridge and kind of see what needs to be used up, make sure that, you know, there's no waste going on before we have other things. And there was still a bunch of peaches. I'm sorry, not peaches, plums. And I was like, wait, did I not tell anybody that there's plums here? But I guess plums just aren't everybody's cup of tea. Anyway, so I am making a batch of Asian plum sauce. I'll leave the recipe down below for you. And I'm going to double the batch because I don't want to just make 3.5 pints. And this is a new recipe, but it's still something that I know we'll like. If it's Asian inspired, we'll love it. So I doubled this. So there are 36 plums in here, or approximately 14 pounds. Now this is supposed to be like blended and then cooked on the stove. I'm just going to pop it in the crock pot overnight on low, and then tomorrow I'll blend it up and add the rest to it, and that's how I'm going to roll today. So this is all getting prepared for tomorrow for the Every Bit Counts challenge, which is August 31st, so we still have time. So to wrap up today, I did all of the bell peppers that were going to go bad. I did not get to all the jalapenos, so that will need to be done tomorrow, but I got what is in here done. I have another cookie sheet full of plums, and we'll eat those. I kind of want to make another batch of plum barbecue sauce. I had 7 of these, maybe not that many, maybe more like 5 of this size jar of the plum barbecue sauce, and we're down to the last jar, and that was made last week, so everybody loved it. And or 2 weeks ago, I think it was made 2 weeks ago. Everybody loved it, and that did not last long. So I'd like to make another batch, but I also want to make sure that everybody gets to eat what they want. So that got done, the peppers got done, and the only thing that I know that really needs to get used up is some cabbage. So hopefully tomorrow I can get the cabbage all shredded up so we can start some sauerkraut. So the kids have voted unanimously not to buy any more sauerkraut, just to eat what we make. So that's kind of my goal here. So I'm going to close out Tuesday with all that I've done today and wish you good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Malachi. Mama, where's Malachi?
Over there.
I'm really gonna hate this. It's like fingers on chalkboard for me. Oh.
I know. That's why I have you do it.
Mom.
Look at that beautiful daughter. Oh, I didn't even get the beautiful daughter. You're the beautiful daughter.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, you look like me right now. This is creepy. It's like seeing myself in a mirror, but younger. Oh, it's like we don't want to talk. It's terrible. I'm building your character.
No, say characters, because of your terror.
I
Terror, not character.
love you. I love you and you love me. Okay, for the Everbit Counts challenge, this one I have to hand it all to my daughter because she was amazing. I kind of crashed last night and she took the reins and just ran with it. I know there is such a thing out there about teens and how irresponsible they are, but I'm just super thankful for my teen. So she decided to process this corn. We picked up corn. We got some corn yesterday from the local food bank. I had already filmed and uploaded that video when a second elderly couple stopped by and bought us another bag or two of corn. And so what my daughter did was she cut all that corn off and then just raw packed and processed this according to my little Presto Canner booklet. So she did all of this on her own, and yeah, huge blessings. So we have some corn to go on the shelves with our other batch of corn, and that brings us, I think, to 13 jars of canned corn. So that's what we got done for the Everbit Counts challenge for August 31st. Today is September 1st, but I'm going to finish this week up, so I can't wait to share with you all the other things that we do. So I'm going to do a couple of trays of these green onions.
I want some
And then
more.
behind the camera, I have a few trays of nasturtium and that's part of our preservation for today.
We also dehydrated this bag of like mixed veggies. So there's corn, there's peas, there's carrots, and there's green beans. I think I missed one. Did I? No, I didn't. Anyway, so there was this jar and this jar, and we still have maybe a cup or two left in the freezer that we should do. That we need to do, not should do. Well, we should do it, but we also need to do it.
It is Friday and we are kind of just finishing up every little bit that we can and preparing food and counting it all towards the Everbit Counts challenge. I really don't actually want to drink this. And yes, so let me tell you what we did today. Today is Friday. I've got a lot going on here, so please forgive me if I seem a little scatterbrained. It is almost midnight and I have had a really long day and a very early one tomorrow. So, from the elderly couple, not the, let's see, how do I make this a little bit understandable? We were given, here we go, we were given a bag of bell peppers. So we have some green, some, let's see, what do I have? So some green, and then we had some red. And so I made 2 more fajita mix. These ones I just tried to keep it a little bit smaller. This way too, it would work really well for my sisters who are moving here to kind of help stock up the freezer for them. I have one of these. I could not get this one in there, but I have one of these. This is not going to go into the canner, don't worry. That's why the lid is not secure. To remind me that this one is not secure, but I pulled out a bag of tomatoes from the freezer and peeled the skins off. And I was trying to make some diced tomatoes, but honestly these tomatoes were just mushing really badly. So I'm assuming that diced tomatoes just don't work if you're doing the freezer tomato method. You need to turn it more into a sauce, which is completely fine. Lesson learned. So I just popped everything into a saucepan and brought it down, and then it made like this really nice thick sauce. So I have a tomato sauce, and another one of these in the canner. Now in the canner, I'm water bath canning a Asian sauce, and you can check out the recipe that I'm doing down below. But I have a little jar here. This is a plum Asian sauce, and it is so good. It is so, so good. So I'm really excited. I have this one in here because my boys lost one of my caps. I have one that size. I have two this size. And they're just sitting in the fridge here. I have a lot going on in the fridge right now. Just because I've got a lot going on in the fridge. My daughter was so excited to make this pumpkin butter using sweet potatoes. And then she realized she could not can those safely. So if they're staying in the fridge, they will not last long. But we kind of got a lot of that going on. So it's been fun. It's been fun. So anyway, I made a batch of that plum Asian sauce. I think it ended up being 2 batches based on the amount of plums. Because remember, I put them in the crock pot. I cooked it all down. And then I added all the other ingredients to it. And it was good. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I don't know if everybody else is going to enjoy it because it does have a little bit more of a vinegary taste. But I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to make the breakfast stir fry that the lady did in the channel. So I made that, and then my daughter made some plum barbecue sauce. Now the last batch that we made was a huge success. We're down to the last jar. Did not last long. She was hoping to can these, but there really isn't a safe way to can these based on the amount of apple cider vinegar that's in here. So the recipe is not like can safe, but that's okay. This will be fine in the fridge, and with how quickly this is gone, I'm sure that this will go just as quickly. Okay, and then I told you about the tomatoes. Well, I took the tomato skins and I put them in the dehydrator, and this is one of the batches that are just dry, prickly, and kind of crumbling apart. So there's not a whole lot here that I could really grind up into a fine powder like this one. This is one that I brought kind of to share that we've been doing of the tomato powder. But I think it still is fine, and we'll just add it to different soups and whatnot. It's, again, maybe not a powder. It's a little bit more like tomato flakes, but it'll be fine. So I did that today. I feel, oh, we've got some apples going for apple sauce. These are a tart apple. We have an apple tree at our church, and we're allowed to take whatever apples we would like. And these ones are definitely a little bit more tart, more of a tart apple. So I did add about, well, I think my daughter did for me. She added about this. I had my daughter do this while I was working on the plum sauce. So I think there's about 1/2 to 1 cup of sugar in here. And we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of water, and we're going to make this like a really nice applesauce. Not really what I wanted to do in so far as adding sugar, but it is what it is. And yeah, kind of looking forward to that. So that is another project going. This morning I took out the nasturtium leaves that I had dried overnight, and I mixed it with, forgot to pull this out, I mixed it with some salt and made like this nasturtium salt and pepper. Not sure what you would call it, just a rub, I guess. It's just a seasoned salt, but there is not enough nasturtium leaves in here. It really needed some more, but it's okay. It's a learning curve. I'm really looking forward to trying that again, maybe drying another batch of nasturtium leaves, powdering it up, and then adding it to that. Maybe that would work. But yeah, so it doesn't seem like a lot. Well, there's still that to come out in 5 more minutes, but it was a lot done. And the apples. I also was able to, somebody kindly gave me a bucket of tomatoes, and there is in here some elderberries to make some elderberry syrup. So this is another project that needs to be done as soon as possible. And these ones, I don't know, this one right here is really saying that it needs to be a BLT. Like, that just looks like a really good bacon tomato and lettuce sandwich. That might be a sandwich tomato. Or even just a tomato and cheese sandwich. Oh, sounds good. Okay, so that's going to be it for tonight. I would like to just really get on and do more, but I need to stop. So thank you for joining me today. I will see what I can do tomorrow, and then we will wrap it up. Now, if you guys are enjoying this, please leave it in the comment section down below, because with the food trucks you do get an abundance of assorted items. Like, we're still working through sweet potatoes over there, and so this isn't anything new. Like, I'm always trying to find ways to use it, preserve it, save it for later, because even though maybe we can't use it now, all the little bits that we get from the food truck and garden and produce being given to us, it may be in abundance now, and it may be just a little bit of certain things, an abundance of one thing or a little bit of another thing, but over time all of those little bits add up to a great assortment of things, like the plums, and we have, barbecue sauce and plum Asian sauce, and we got to enjoy some fresh eating plums and all of that. So if that is interesting to you, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. I was thinking, I'll just see if anybody wants it, but I probably will continue to make those, because I do have people asking me how I use our food truck stuff, and this is just one little bit of a way. One little bit of a way. Speaking of making sure that we use and getting little bits and whatnot, the dehydrator is going, and in the dehydrator is all of the cherry tomatoes that we got a couple weeks ago from the food truck. So they have sat in the fridge long enough. Nobody is really interested in eating a bunch of tomatoes right now. So I cut them all in half and I popped them into my dehydrator. And in another 20-ish hours, I am hoping to turn that into more powder. But if not, then we'll just find other ways to repurpose it and use it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow. And